postseasons, right? And in the NBA, 80% of the favorites win the playoff rounds. In order for baseball to have that happen, every round would need to be a best of 75. So if the goal is to be a postseason that gives everybody a chance, baseball's in pretty good shape in that regard. And really what a cap does is it may give you this marketing idea that things are warm and fuzzy, but it's a little like eating something with a little too much MSG. You're full at first, and then all of a sudden you're really hungry again. And that's because the owners are the ones who benefit for it. There was a story about a week and a half ago that the commissioner was telling investors, potential investors into Major League Baseball, that he had been going directly to the players for the last 3 years to say, you're leaving money on the table. And the response sounds like from the players is like, well, wait a second, like, why, if they're coming to us with this, could we believe that it's good? And I think that that's a fair way to look at it. I mean, the biggest people that benefit from any sort of a cap is management. And I don't know that there's anything that helps to drive competitive balance by creating caps and floors salary-wise. So I'm not in favor of it. I'm certainly not in favor of losing a season over it. I think, especially at a time where baseball is starting to grow in popularity again, based on the television numbers in the U.S., based on the attendance across the game, all of these things are positive. Even an off-season work stoppage would be, I think, tragic. And furthermore, while the commissioner has continued to say that a lockout is the regular course of off-season business, I do want to point out, I mean, I'm guessing that you guys cover a little bit of hockey. What happened with the NHL and the NHLPA this year? Certainly didn't feel like it was a lockout looming, right, when they get a new CBA done more than a year before the next one expires.
The speed record was set on that. So, as you were answering that, I was thinking that the other leagues, what it's helped is the value of franchises. I don't know that's a problem in Major League Baseball, but you said investors, the commissioner going around to investors. What does that mean?
Well, there was a meeting in Atlanta, and it was, I think, hosted by the Braves ownership. And I think there were potential investors either in the Braves or into MLB ownership groups that were there. But you're right. That's what it does drive. And that is what the commissioner and several owners have said, is that because we don't have a cap, it impacts our franchise value. Well, I don't know about you guys, but my goal isn't to make billionaires even richer, right? Like, that's not, to me, I don't care how much money you're making. I have a lot of respect for John Middleton, the owner of the Phillies, who a couple years ago said, nobody is going to care if I made $10 million on the season. What they're going to care about is whether or not the Phillies won the World Series under my ownership. And that's the thing, is that I think we have changed into a society that values the dollars and the bottom line when it comes to teams more than what should matter and how ownership groups should be judged, which is on wins and losses, and as they continue to cut corners, and I'll take a shot at Jay's ownership for this there, I think it's so unbelievably cheap that they don't continue to not travel their radio broadcasters, for crying out loud, to save $70,000 US. It's a year. It is absolutely mind-numbing that they continue to cut these corners to say that they are poor, that they don't have enough money, when clearly we're still able to put on a season every single year.
No doubt about it, Mike. No doubt about it. Now let's talk. We're at mid-season here, or a little past, and MVP conversations come up a lot of years, but I'm not sure there is one this year. I mean, in the National League, Shohei Ohtani is the runaway favorite to do what he always seems to do, to be the NL MVP. And in the AL, if it's a race, it's a two-man race between Aaron Judge, who's the favorite, and Cal Raleigh out in Seattle. What are the odds that becomes more of a race and that Raleigh actually has a chance there?
Well, I mean, Raleigh's putting together one of the great seasons for a catcher of all time, but I also want to point out that Judge is the first, I think, 7-WAR player at the All-Star break since, like, Pedro in '99.
Right.
Having another amazing year. So, listen, I think it's way too early to factor, like, who the MVPs are. I mean, certainly we know that Ohtani and Judge are probably going to factor into it so long as they stay healthy, because they're the best players in the league. But I think that could be said for just about anybody. And there's still a long way to go, right? We still have 70 games for all of these teams remaining, and that's a good it's not half the season, but it's pretty close. So I have a real tough time handing out awards or trying to handicap award season in the middle of the year. It's a much better question, I think, for the last quarter of the season as you get to the middle of August and beyond for the Cy Young and for the Rookie of the Year and for the MVP, certainly. But those are the guys that would be the front runners, I think, at this point, without a doubt. And, you know, I think there's plenty of guys that are having outstanding seasons. And you know, sometimes it's like, what happens if the Tigers, you know, continue on this, you know, miraculous run and Riley Green has an incredible second half? You know, is he, because of the narrative surrounding him, suddenly become one of those candidates for it, right? If, let's say, the Giants ran down the Dodgers, you know, they're playing this weekend, and let's say, you know, let's say Logan Webb ends up dominating the league as both as a pitcher so much that he's a candidate for both Cy Young and the MVP. I think we certainly have seen that happen enough that trying to gauge where things stand right now is still a little bit mushy.
Mike, enjoyed the conversation. Thanks very much.
Guys, anytime. Happy to do it. Take care.
Thank you. Mike Farron from MLB Network. So out of that, and we talked earlier this week about the NFLPA executive director who was involved in a side deal with an investment group looking for minority stakes in NFL teams. He talked about minority stakes in Major League Baseball teams. That's got to be a thriving business.
Big time thriving business. This is, you know, the private capitals come to Major League Sports, right? And the idea that what an owner can do essentially is take cash out of his franchise value, right? Oh, you want a 10% piece? Give me several $1 billion and you can have it, and I will have $7 billion in cash, while also maintaining control of the franchise and allowing you to have a few perks, but and also participate in the escalation of the value of this team.
Sounds like a reverse mortgage.
That's essentially what it is.
Okay, there we go. We solved that one. Coming up next, Ryan Dinwiddie, head coach of the Toronto Argonauts. His Overdrive continues live on YouTube, TSN2, TSN 1050.